And our grand finals is starting now. Insolence loading on up.
Grand finals, it's Team Breaker going up against Team Accelerate, a rematch of your winners bracket round 2, which by the way did end up going into a game number 3, and we almost ended up seeing an attrition tiebreaker at one point with how close these two teams were matched up. But of course it was Team Breaker that got the win over Team Accelerate. Will we see the same outcome here in your grand finals?
Here we go. You got some lifts to your left and right, and it flies you right towards that Hydra. Hydra is going to be so important to stopping some of the vehicle control on this map.
Hydra shredding that Warthog. Oh my gosh, gonna need a new paint job after that. A double kill coming in out of Axel Dark, and now it looks like Team Breaker have a Warthog of their own, and possibly the only Warthog on the map. A melee kill coming out of Drunk, almost a back-smack into the sniper shot for the double kill, making a triple kill, and almost able to get the overkill. Drunk almost single-handedly stopping that flag.
Yeah, but the flag is still on its way. Team Accelerate keeping this thing moving. So, oh my god, great shot by Accelerate. Looking to get the flag back home, and oh my god, you just see Team Breaker constantly flying numbers, but eventually the flag goes back towards its home. Beezy with the final kill in order to get them back to even.
So far, about a minute and a half worth of gameplay, and man, has it been exciting so far. And whoa, 4 kills in a row coming out of Team Accelerate right there. Absolutely shredding the defenses and the shield of Team Breaker, and they're continuing to push forward here. Team Accelerate started to get into groove. Boom ends up with the flagpole, and looks like he's going right in for a Warthog play. Not sure if they're in position just yet, as the rest of Team Breaker looking to make it as hard as possible for Team Accelerate.
I love seeing that top-down view. You get to see some of the topography of the map, and it's like it almost is reminiscent of like some Halo 5 Warzone slash Valhalla vibes to me. I'm really liking the design, and I love the crashed scarab over there to jump around in.
Why can't we use the scarab in
why was the scarab not in Halo? It wasn't even like featured. Those were my favorite missions back in the day, you know, getting on that scarab and making it look like the one on the map right here.
Not only excellent shots coming out of our player on screen here, but excellent job staying alive and just buying so much time for the rest of his team to come off a spawn, get in position, continuing to put the pressure onto Team Breaker. That flag does end up being pulled by Lore, but again, just going at the shields, going at the offenses of Team Breaker. And now with this return coming in, that might be enough for Team Accelerate to start to get aggressive. I know there's a Warthog play already coming into action. Looks like Wolfrain might have lost his gunner on that Warthog. Hopefully get back to his team spawn and reset a little bit.
Yeah, you're gonna see how important position is on this map in particular, right? Just because there's not actually that much space in between each other's flags, but there's a lot of ground that blocks that cover, right? And you have to take unique routes, making sure that you're on top with each other, looking at the same things, having the same position is going to be so important. Then also getting your Warhogs in play. Manny trying to take this one home. Whoa. And look at this, the Ghost is on its trail, but that flag looks more and more likely. Can the Gunner withstand the Ghost? And the Ghost, I think, is just gonna have to give up on this flag for now. Manny looking to punch this one home.
We'll make sure that flag does end up going through, and yes it is. Manny awarded the cap for that one. A 1-0 start here. Whatever, about maybe 2 minutes worth of gameplay so far, so a pretty quick capture coming out of Team Accelerate. And now we're going to try to find out if Team Breaker can answer right back here. One way to do that is control the skies, and of course it's Isofy, one of the best Banshee players in the tournament, already making his presence known.
Yeah, Isofy, there's not a lot of cover for him up high in the sky, but if he gets down low, he can use those rocks as potential cover pieces. I really like the dynamic this creates with the Banshee. It makes it have to fly a little bit lower to the ground in order to play for that cover, but still a lot of in and out ability to come in, do strafing runs, but accelerates so far, and that other Banshee has been keeping him at bay.
Banshee's so important. Neither one of them want to sacrifice their own Banshee without at least taking out their opponents. Flipping up in the air, trying to avoid as much damage as possible. The damage continues to come in. Now forced to back down, and it looks like that one's about to blow up here soon. So he hops right on out and looks to put down damage with the banded rifle, taking down one as Druk ends up going down as well. Team Breaker tie things up at one apiece.
In the back finds that BR. I love how that BR is situated into the base. A lot of thought and care being given to this map, and in about 5 seconds we'll see this Ghost come on up. And Isofy, he's not only a great Banshee driver, he's also a great Ghost pilot as well. Looks like that Ghost is going to be a little bit longer on for the respawn, but his ability to whip around on that mouse and keyboard, we've seen some crazy plays from him and the Ghost.
I thought the Ghost was camo for a second there. I was like, wait, what's going on here? No, Isofy, Ghost in hands, and now we get to see truly if his Ghost play is as good as his Banshee play. And so far, I'm loving it. Accelerate, trying to get close enough to get the jack, but not gonna happen. The rest of the cavalry from Team Accelerate coming in, and the Rockets will take down that Ghost player. And what's crazy is that the rest of Breaker is still in here. You got another Ghost coming in. That's going to be Nate God. A second Warthog coming in, fully loaded, and Team Breaker continuing to pressure Team Accelerate with all of these vehicles.
Yeah, there is one player from Team Breaker in position to pull out a flag, but the Banshee in the sky once again might make all the difference. The skewer shot takes down the Warthog for now, but Extreme Breaker has control. The Banshee in the skies for his team. Onboard's gonna go toe for toe with him. It's a dogfight up in the air.
And Carson Lutz with that skewer gets the double kill onto the Warthog, but it's Extreme Breaker still manning the skies with that Banshee. Not for long though, ends up on fire, and somehow Onboard taking himself out. Carson Lutz gets back at Extreme Breaker. It looks like he's chasing down one player who's doing everything they can to stay alive. Of course, it's Farsight once again being creative with the equipment, but eventually going down.
Extreme Breaker trying his best to stay alive, but one step too far and eventually taken down. Nate God with a killing spree, 5 in a row for him, as he try to push around whatever weapons they want with each other, giving the BR to his teammate in favor of the Stalker Rifle Ravager combination. And the Ravager might be so powerful. You see how the players are all pulling up in that back base. A good Ravager shot could really do a great area denial service for his team to get forward.
But as he's trying to put pressure onto those players, it looks like some players moving on to his left. I want to say it's BZ is inactive that are moving in position, and hopefully the Stalker Rifle is going to be enough to stop them from pushing in. He is surrounded on all sides right now, but still thriving with the Stalker Rifle and Ravager combination. The Ravager runs out of bullets, active, goes right into the turret to finally take him out. The rest of Team Accelerate should be able to push forward here, tied up at one apiece. Less than 7 minutes for either one of these teams to try to make something happen.
Yeah, you're starting to see this game and how there's so many unique routes, right? You have the right and the left lane, which have some underneath pathways, right, to insulate yourself from the Banshee plays. But then the middle route, which is where you're going to mostly see these flag runs want to come through, or these players that want to get in position for the flag. But then you always have the danger of the vehicles finding you in those positions. Active just did something crazy. He jumped up, punched the gunner, and then whipped around and shot him for an absolute brutal kill against the chain gunner.
It looked like he almost tried some ninja the turret player right there. The fact that he was even able to get so close to him is actually crazy, but what a play coming out of Active. Eventually that Warthog does end up going down, but another 1v1, and it's Lore able to take down Druk.
Isofy playing defense, right? It's not really about this Banshee getting into the fight and being your forward player. You want to be doing strafing runs, helping your teammates as much as possible to get forward, playing a little bit more defensive with it when you can, but you just can't be an enemy grounds for too long with this vehicle due to how weak it is.
So far, doing some strong damage onto the Warthog, and there's the assist. Not quite able to take it out, but his teammates aren't there. An assist is as good as a kill in my book, as the rest of Team Breaker surrounding the map and accelerate. Who other than the captain with the skewer to take the Banshee right out of the sky?
And I feel like the counter for the Banshee has to be priority for Team Accelerate. Every time Isify has gotten into that Banshee, it feels like it's changed this game. The air superiority has been in their favor thus far. Drift got that 3, but I feel like the skies have been dictating so much in this game.
Rightfully so, and looks like this player's gonna take to the skies with the grapple.
He wants to
Every
get out of
last
the sky.
hit, and almost able to grapple the Banshee. He's in the play right now. Eventually that Banshee ends up exploding, but he should have been able to grapple Jacket if it was able to stay alive, and eventually the Warthog will end up taking him down. We love the thought process there to just get right up close and personal and so close to grappling and jacking that Banshee away.
Staying back, taking the one-on-one. Oh, shaky shots, but eventually Boom gets the job done. Kill for them, and really these ghosts, I don't think we've seen much of the play with them, but you have to figure a map like this has to favor the ghosts quite well. You know, how fast it is to get behind flanks. I think Team Accelerate's done a great job at coordinating with each other to ensure that they take down these vehicles quickly, but a couple of ghosts can make a huge difference for a team.
Boom grapple jacks the ghost and splatters Extreme Breaker, was looking to steal it right back from him, and Boom gets himself a free ghost. Doesn't even say thank you. Meanwhile, this ghost is on fire and almost done with. I don't even know if grapple jacket is the play. It might just blow up by the time he's able to move forward.
Wacky able to find those kills, but you're starting to see trade for trade. Both teams struggling to play forward onto this map right now. Really just middle ground. Oh, I don't know how that rocket missed the slope. So it must have been just steep enough, and Accelerate eventually able to find that kill.
Wow, hopefully this rocket is going to do Boom a little bit better, but so far the rocket's not getting as much value as you would want them to here in this matchup here. Banshee in the skies. Boom has to stay alive here.
You saw him get that rocket. He wanted to shoot the Banshee as it came off a spawn, but Isify was there waiting instantly to get himself inside of that Banshee to go take to the skies, and he's got himself a dogfight against the other predominant Banshee player. Onboard gonna be able to stop it this time with the skewer shot.
The camouflage skewer is a dangerous weapon, a dangerous combination, and Envoy is able to use it to take down Isify in that Banshee. And so far, like you mentioned before, Isify has been neutralized every single time he gets anywhere near the skies. This time it's going to be Envoy awarded that one. And Carson Lute says, you know what, this one's about to blow up. I'm going to hop out here and take my leave.
Yeah, I love that these teams are matching up again, because I feel like we have two of the best Banshee pilots in the game, and Isify and Carson Lute. So I'm fascinated to watch this game at minimum 3 times this map and see who's going to be the best pilot.
And by the way, you did say minimum of 3 times, guys. In case you didn't know, this is the grand finals, and even though we've been watching best of 3 series up until this point, this matchup is going to be a best of 5, so it's going to take 3 wins in order to become your champions. No bracket reset. It's either just go big or go home, and as of right now, there's one player that has a skewer here for Team Breaker. This is going to be really good. Yeah, you can't even wait to get to the action. He needs to grapple right on in to get as close as possible to the opposition.
Down. Oh no! A perfect shot, and the Warhog is down, and he's not done quite yet. Trying to find Boom, grappling in. That player still 1 shot, slides, but drunk with the protective rocket. Boom survives for another day.
Beancito was able to get the double kill onto that Warthog team of players, but just barely missing out on the triple with that bandit rifle. The bandit rifle is nasty when it comes to close range. It even has a bit of mid-range potential, but from that range outside of that aim assist, it's tough. The bandit rifle is great, but from long range, it is not reliable.
I got both rocket and a sniper to work with. Unfortunately, those sniper shots aren't going to be able to take down that Warhog. Went for that headshot on that player instead of maybe going after that vehicle's base. I think they could have done enough damage to that Warhog to blow it up, and they would have just shot at the vehicle instead of the player.
Just 5 seconds left in regulation with the game tied up. No matter what, we will see a sudden death and overtime here. The sudden death starts right here, right now. The pie chart on screen. Dynamo grenade flying in as the Warthog gets as close as possible to go for the return. Nobody in sight to be able to relay this flag forward. So returns coming in, and the 3 minutes in overtime starts now. Both teams have 3 minutes to capture a flag. Otherwise, it will go to a tie. And remember, all tiebreakers are settled with attrition.
Warhog up, doing as much damage as possible, but you might have to leave that gunner out, man. That Warhog might just be done. Oh, he ain't done yet. Look at this, Tony. He's trying to get away. Oh, no. He's being hunted down.
Like, some way, somehow, I'm going to get every last bit of value out of this Warthog right here. On fire and everything, almost able to get away from that engagement. Sadly, was hunted down. On the broken scarab, a lot of cover here. You get really creative with the long range shots, and anytime somebody cuts up close and personal, I can imagine kind of like juke them out just a little bit here. And oh my gosh, the shots out of Rag onto professional player Drift is gonna take him out. Somehow Active ends up getting betrayed by his teammate via a splatter, so that's not good. Team Accelerate. Yeah, you know, you got some good, you got some bad, you got some ugly, and you got a little bit of everything coming out of Team Accelerate.
You can see how much action's going down on this map at all times. Accelerate back in the skies. They had 2 Banshees, but now they have 1, and now they have none. The grapple play able to get himself inside the Banshee. Look at how much things have just changed for Team Breaker, no matter seconds.
Only a minute 22 seconds on the clock here to try to make something happen. This Banshee might be exactly what the doctor ordered. Multiple members of Team Accelerate in front of him, including Doc Holliday in that Ghost. Love that damage coming in. Rag off the screen gets himself a double kill with the rockets. Farsight following it up with a couple of kills. And looks like that grapple coming in out of nowhere. And Team Accelerate are playing for the return as fast as possible. Both teams leaving it all on the line and emptying the tank with less than a minute left. Both teams want to make something happen. And Doc Holliday not only able to survive with this Ghost, able to follow it right up with a double kill, moving in for the 3rd and even the 4th in front of him. Hold on. Team Breaker are in trouble. That flag is going to be relayed.
Oh, just at the last second, couldn't get the pull. Now 30 seconds, you have to pull out a flag to at least force extra time. Nade God has 1 out for his team. Team Accelerate, look how far away they are from that flag. It looks like Accelerate and the team spawning towards Scarab, but are they aware of where that flag's coming to?
Another Ghost on screen here, and like you said before, the way this map's layout is, the Ghost definitely gets so much value. There's so much cover that you can play behind. There's these long different like avenues and lanes that you can navigate here. This is a Ghost pilot's dream. But taking damage multiple times definitely is nonsense to try to get out of that situation, try to play his life. Has the Warthog in front of him. That flag is in no man's land, but so is the flag here for time for Team Breaker. They have to try to play offense and defense at the same time, stopping Team Breaker from getting the flag cap while also defending the flag cap as well. It's both on the side of Team Breaker, and eventually it ends in a tie. That was a bit dangerous there, but we're moving on to game 2. And I believe that's going to be a little bit of team control action, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I believe we're going to team control as well. And I thought it was really interesting to see how much of a powerful play the Ghost was towards the end of that game. That Ghost was tanking everything and prevented that flag from going home. It was very close to getting into that home base. I think maybe Team Team Breaker getting a little ahead of themselves on that run, holding that flag, trying to get it there as fast as possible, where they could have maybe waited just a little bit longer to go that last little bit, to make sure you had teammates around you to prevent that ghost from having so much of an impact.
The one thing that we noticed right off the rip was Isify not able to get as much value out of that Banshee that he's been getting time and time again. And you mentioned it before, you know, it might be a strategy of Team Accelerate that the moment that Banshee hits the skies, everyone focuses on it, and I think that's making it a bit harder for Team Breaker. Like Team Breaker, normally they run through the Banshee, they make sure they get their kills, they play right through it, and usually it captures, you know, one after another. One turns to two, turns to three, and then four. But in this game, they were not able to do the same thing, tied up in one apiece. Very uncharacteristic like for Team Breaker, especially when Isify has the Banshee.
I love that skewer shot. The ballista for the double kill. So many great moments in that game. So much vehicle play. Once again, I just love the design of the map. I wonder if we have a replay available that just has the top down so we can look at it and kind of dissect what it kind of is about and where we can see some of these lanes. But I really am impressed with the design of all the Forge maps that came out in today's tournament, Tony.
Yeah, no matter what, like whether it was the last one, I'm trying to remember the names of it, I do apologize, I can't remember the name of the last one we just saw. But whether it was this one with the movement with the ghost, the other one beforehand where it had that beautiful Banshee play in, and it was so tough to deal with going into those circles and around the map. It was incredible. You're seeing this right now where if you're a ghost and you're able to play around all that cover, you're able to zoom across towards the mid, go under the tunnels, into the caves. Like, I can only imagine you would have so much fun just driving around the ghost. Forget playing BTB. I would just want to drive around this map in a ghost.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting how, so you can see that the bases are pretty close to each other, but the lanes are more horizontal, right? So it's almost like you see where Druk is at the bottom of your map. That almost feels like the natural home, but instead the homes are to the side, right? So it's very interesting how hard it is to like pull a flag through to the opponent's base. It's not necessarily this easy task. And I think it was interesting. One time we saw that Scarab spawn is absolutely a spawn that you can pull out. I'm very interested to see how the flow of this map will change on Total Control. Obviously, you're not going to have to worry about the bases as much. It's more about controlling the aspects of the map next to the hills that you need to capture.
Battle rifle grabs quickly here, and that BR is going to transfer into a ghost immediately. And now you have two ghosts on the side of Team Accelerate. As much as we've been talking about how much value you can get out of the ghosts and how powerful they are on the map, to have two on your side must be crazy. Even hopping out of the ghost to finish him off with the nades of the PR, and then changing it into a sniper already on the Scarab side of the map. Team Accelerate getting map control early, and that's going to convert to a C and A grab. Just one more left to get a point on the board.
Yeah, Boom's in a really powerful position by Scarab, right? You have high ground, you can see into B, and you have a sniper to work with. He's responsible for taking down this Warhog right here, and he'll do just that, getting it down to one shot, and his teammate picks up the rest. Great start from Team Accelerate. As you see, Carson also got the Banshee, and he has sole air control. So right now, you see how everyone's positioned on that map. They have clear advantages at the moment.
Looks like that Warthog getting way too close to that player right there. The player just jumps right into the passenger side. They have to hop out, get a couple of melees in, but that's going to work out. And mind you, Team Accelerate already had the AC hold, and now they're moving into Bravo, struggling to get those last few seconds in as they climb up and then getting knocked right back down here. Bravo being fought over well by both teams, but it looks like Team Breaker that not only able to weather the storm on the Bravo side, but even able to slow them down and take Charlie at the same time. Well played by Team Breaker, but they still need to defend. They still need to clear Team Accelerate out.
Yeah, a little tough right there for Carson in the sky, right? He's doing a great job, but hitting the environment a little bit too much does damage to your vehicle, and he clips the top of the map for just half a second. It does just enough damage to make his Banshee go into determination mode, and unfortunately that's going to reduce the cover in the air that Team Accelerate had, and now it feels more of a 50-50 fight coming into this mid-game.
Gotta love the Hydra action. We talk about the Hydra being used as an anti-vehicle weapon, but even being used against Spartans as well. It must be so painful to have to deal with the Hydra as you try to capture these bases. And if you happen to hunker down and try to double or triple capture, those explosions are coming in, put everybody down to one shot, and you're just easy pickings for the enemy team. So you got to be careful and respect the explosive power of the Hydra, whether you're in a vehicle or not.
Those sniper shots can absolutely ruin your Banshee play, so I think it's very important on this map to keep your Banshee a little bit lower. Use those rocks as natural cover for those sniper shots, because you give a sniper just 1 second too many, they're gonna put 2 snipe shots in you and put your Banshee in termination mode.
Alpha almost taken once again here by Team Accelerate. Team Breaker have been able to break out of their spawn time and time again and get the kills that they've been looking for here. But once Team Accelerate get that control, it makes it really hard for Team Breaker to make anything happen. The speed in which Team Accelerate play at, and always accelerating, always in your face. It seems like Team Breaker aren't really a fan of it when it comes to total control, because it really works in Team Accelerate's favor. I feel like we saw the same thing in the winners bracket round 2 matchup that we're seeing right here, where most of the time the Team Accelerate have that control that you want to see.
Yeah, they've been really forward on this map. Onboard gets that Banshee, and I don't think those sniper shots connected. That might be some big misses. Finally able to get those shots in, and you can see 2 sniper shots is all that's needed. That Banshee will have to exit the skies.
All right, Team Breaker and Drift getting value out of the sniper rifle, going up against that Banshee, and now we see another Banshee take to the skies here for Team Accelerate. This time it's going to be Carson Lutz, and we've seen him time and time again how well he can play with that Banshee. Everybody on Team Breaker are looking to try to shred him out of the skies, but using those rocks as that cover, like you mentioned before, avoiding as much damage as possible, and now starting to send that damage right back at Team Breaker, as Lore gonna be the first victim of Carson's Banshee.
Carson's doing his best to survive right now. He's taking damage left and right, but he's still flying. He still has 2 wings, finally taken out, but not before he takes Magico with him. And Team Accelerate, they're just a tick away. Unfortunately, it's being fought heavily for, but it looks like Team Accelerate is gonna punch through. Drift at the last second cannot stop it, and that's gonna be the first point on board for Team Accelerate.
Team Accelerate striking first here, and the way they've been able to dominate the game so far, I feel like there's really no surprise there. And when it comes to aggression and map control, it's been Team Accelerate all day long. Oh my gosh, the stalker rifle connecting onto Lore right there. As we look around here, we see Team Accelerate focusing on the seaside. That should be stolen here very soon. That's going to be Team Accelerate awarded that one. They're also making a push over toward the Bravo side. Meanwhile, Team Breaker only able to put pressure onto Alpha. It's not going to be enough, because eventually if Team Accelerate take 2 and they get the kills that they're looking for, it will turn to 3 real quick. Team Breaker gonna have to make something happen here.
Team Breaker was able to find a solution towards C right away, neutralizing and taking it over at the moment. Oh, it gets scary sometimes when you see those ghosts come at you. A little bit of a unique situation right there when you're hopping on that ghost to basically take it over. You can eat a rocket if you're on the right side of it. So whoever's driving the ghost, the player who's driving it won't take team damage on the vehicle itself. So you can shoot a rocket at your teammate, get rid of the player that's trying to hijack you. A little bit of an interesting tech that we saw right there.
Camouflage being grabbed here for Team Breaker. Having 2 vehicles in front of him, one the Banshee and one the Ghost. Gets the back smack onto far side, and look at the slays hit the screen courtesy of Team Breaker. That's going to be well as they push over towards Bravo. Looks like there's only one more player that sneaks in to try to stop it from happening. Somehow, Isify, it's a kill-tacular on screen on the kill feed there. And with that, Team Breaker able to steal their first capture here. We are tied up at one apiece, courtesy of Isify's kill tag.
Yeah, I mean, just a well-placed grenade. Everyone from Team Accelerate was trying to get into that hill, but 2 sticky grenades go down, and it's enough to absolutely eviscerate anyone that tried to get forward. Gives them 5 kills in succession for that kill-tacular, and ties up this game at 1 apiece.
Carson Lutz doing everything he can to stay alive here on the Scarab side. Love the target prioritization out of Exo. Dark couldn't quite find the kill, so he changed right to 1. Meanwhile, Magical earns himself an overkill off the screen. Team Breaker getting multi-kill after multi-kill, and that's going to be bad for Team Accelerate. They might have gotten the first capture here in the game, but the bounce back that we're seeing out of Team Breaker is masterful. Team Accelerate, they need some kind of swing. They need to swing things back in their favor. Otherwise, it's going to be Team Breaker taking the lead.
Well, back to the skies. The Hydra shot goes up high, and we'll see if it eventually wraps back. 1 Banshee already down. Now, it looks like Team Breaker's Banshee will be the one that reigns supreme.
Banshee in the skies taking very little damage. There we go. Finally, that damage is coming right back at him. You can't let that Banshee just sit there. And, of course, the signature landing right out of that Banshee as it's about to blow up. Team Accelerate were able to weather the storm and get Alpha and Charlie at the same time, but looks like Team Breaker already working after Charlie once again. Sitting up high with the Stalker Rifle could be huge for Team Accelerate. Hopefully that Warthog isn't going to fight back much, but it looks like he's aggressive. He's the one chasing the Warthog down. There we go. There we go.
Well, Drunk gets the kill, but I mean, all the kills have been going in favor of Team Breaker. They're just a tick away, and look at all of the red players. It's Drunk, the player that made the last-second heroics, who's trying to stop C. He will neutralize, but there's just no one there. Look at the horde of players from Team Breaker that hunt him down, and now it's going to be up to Unique over at A to withstand any sort of pressure from Accelerate. Accelerate's trying his best to get there in time, but I have imagined he's gonna get just melted right away. And yep, there we see it. Team Breaker, those string of kills are gonna give them a lead in this game, 2-1.
They say it's those who laugh last, laugh best, and Team Breaker may not have started off hot, but man, they come out of nowhere with a 2-1 lead in 5 minutes on the clock, where once all the pressure was on Team Breaker, now it's right back on Team Accelerate. Plenty of time for them to mount, you know, a double cap turned into a trip cap, but easier said than done when Team Breaker started to win some of these individual battles, even started to win some of these team battles as well, was started to take control. Team Accelerate, look at it, they're kind of stuck on their spawn here. Meanwhile, Team Breaker already working after Charlie and Alpha, now working after Bravo as well. The backsmack coming in on a drift for the double kill, going in for the triple kill, and that's gonna be it. Team Breaker breaking Accelerate's back on that one. What a fast recap coming in as they just literally kept Accelerate on a spawn cycle over onto their side of the map towards the end game.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal control from them at the end. When they started to get the map, they just didn't let it up, showing how things can spiral out of control and total control, just because you don't have to control the entire map, right? You just have to take sections of the map, and so far they were effective, and it started out great for Team Accelerate, right? But they just weren't able to keep it going, and well, unfortunately, time comes in favor of this Team Breaker roster, and the Latin Americans look just, I mean, phenomenal at Big Team Battle today.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible watching them, and eventually, you know, the whole strategy of keeping Isify out of the Banshee eventually, I guess, stopped working, because eventually Isify found himself a Banshee, found himself in there, and also on top of that kill tag, that overkill from Magico, like that's an incredible play coming out of Team Breaker, and to do it against some of the best players in the world, you know, like some of the professional players that we have from the native Reds, you know, on the Envoys, the Bones, and even Accelerate, who's damn good himself. It's not easy, and Team Breaker at times making it look easy with the amount of kills they were able to get.
And, you know, hey, there's pros on the side of Team Accelerate, but Yeah, I mean, Team Breaker, they got some shooters themselves, right? Players like Drift are incredible at the game, and I think we've seen some of their utility BTB players have had a little bit more of an impact with players like Icy using that Banshee so effectively, getting in those ghosts. I feel like we've seen just that little bit more control of the power vehicles in the game.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. I've been talking about the Banshee a lot, but we gotta talk about that Ghost. Oh my gosh, that Ghost is so tough to deal with, honestly. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been loving this tournament so much. I have a bad habit of like watching pro tournaments and like casting pro tournaments and then thinking I can go in and do the same thing as what I'm saying. So tonight, at some point, I'm gonna jump on Big Team Battle and I'm gonna absolutely embarrass myself because I'm gonna try to do everything that I'm seeing Icify do. I'm gonna try to do everything that I'm seeing Manny and the rest of them do, and I'm gonna fail miserably, most likely.
Right. I feel like the BTB kids have a phenomenal sense of what they can and can't get away with, right? I feel like we've seen them so often know how many shots the Ghost can take, how many shots the Banshee can take, and know when to leave and when to fight. And it's almost like it's the same fundamentals that build great competitive 4v4 Halo that's being used in Big Team Battle, right? Understanding your life, understanding the impact you have, knowing what position to be in. And I think we've seen masterful control of that with players like Icy, players like XLR8, Extreme Breaker. They have a really great understanding of the do's and don'ts of, you know, basic fundamental Halo, and then extrapolating that into, you know, the foundation of Big Team Battle has created some deadly players.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, so far has been an amazing series, an amazing tournament so far as a whole. Game number 1 did end in a tie. Moving into total control was Breaker that started off the game 0-1, somehow put 3 consecutive captures, including one of the fastest ones that we've seen so far in total control in that third one. And now we have a 1-0 lead for Team Breaker. Going into this game 3, I feel like Team Accelerate have to make something happen. They literally have to treat this game 3 as if it's a game 5. They have to fight back. Otherwise, you give Team Breaker any kind of momentum like they've shown all tournament long, and they will simply run over you.
Yeah, it almost feels very momentum based with them, right? Like sometimes they're a little bit slow to come out the gate, but once they get going, I don't think anyone can stop them. Or sometimes they go super hot, but then can run a little bit cold and let teams come back in. Remember that Slayer from round 1 where they started off 24-3, I think was the start of that game, but then the game finishes 100-95, right? And they lost the lead for a little bit there. I think they're going to be very momentum based in the series.
Going through a little bit of technical difficulties right now, waiting for the lobby to form, and so far, is there any player on either one of the teams that you know, I'm gonna make you pick a player on both teams. One player that you're watching out for that's going to be kind of the X factor. Anytime in 4v4 gameplay, when you think of man, you think of one of the ultimate X factors in the game with the ways they were to affect it. Who's going to be your 2 X factors? One on the side of Breaker, and then one on the side of the Team Accelerate.
Well, I think we know what to expect of like players like Breaker, Accelerate, Icy, right? We talked about them. We know what to expect from them. I think it's up to the pro players on both sides. I'm going to go with Drift and Druck from both of these teams. I think Druck was making insane plays to help save his team. I think if they can play around Druck a little bit more this time, they're going to have success. But it was the last play of the game from Drift that I think really was like, oh wow, this is like making a big difference. I mean, look at him getting behind everyone, double kill. He's going to be able, like, if the game goes any longer, he's going to get Druck there. I was really impressed with Drift's positioning. He's phenomenal at finishing off the one-on-ones when he needs to, and I think Druck is almost like mirrors his gameplay one-to-one in a certain sense, where whichever player's having that better game might just tip the scales for their team instead.
Does it make you less confident within Team Accelerate? The fact that they already lost an earlier matchup. You know, you had Team Breaker that already 2-1 them in the winners bracket in round 2. Are you any less confident in Team Accelerate as now you see them down, 0-1 and 1 right now? And the fact that they already lost to this team, or do they, hey, new map, new series, not even the same amount of games that are going to be played. It's a best of 5 versus a best of 3 that we saw before. How do you feel about Team Accelerate's chances?
I think Team Accelerate just have to keep doing what they're doing and just execute at the end stage a little bit better. We've seen close games throughout both of these series. It just seems as if Team Breaker has the better finishing moves, right? When it gets to the end game, they're controlling the board a little bit better. They're able to trap the king in and eventually force mate. On the other side, Team Accelerate, all they have to do is sit back, be calm, right? Steal your nerves and just wait for the blunder, right? There's going to be an opportunity somewhere within this game where there's going to be an overextend where a weapon that shouldn't be in their hands comes into their hands, where they can steal away an extra ghost, steal away a banshee. Look for those opportunities on the map, those blundered pieces, those free opportunities to take control and to use that as an advantage engine throughout the game.
Well, ladies and gentlemen at home, we're going to find out if Team Breaker's finishing moves are going to be able to fatality. Oh, sorry, wrong game. Sorry. But able to finish off Team Accelerate, or will we see that bounce back coming out of Team Accelerate? This is your grand finals. So far, it's 1-0-1 in favor of Team Breaker, but in a best of 5 series, we know there is plenty of time for anything to happen here, especially here on Insolence.
Insolence has been fun to watch. Just a very different style map thus far. I've been enjoying the unique flow of the game, and I just want to say props to the team that's behind it.
Would you play Insolence in the playlist?
Absolutely.
If they would add, okay.
I think they should add.
But you're not good with the banshee. I feel like
no, that's true.
I feel like you're not good with the ghost either. I told you I'd put you in the dirt in a 1v1 in ghost play. I already told you that. But you're not good with the banshee. You're not good with the ghost. I mean, like, what advantage do you have here on Insolence?
Pure gunny. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get me anywhere, I'm out VR to anyone. My bandit's great, Tony. You know,
but you don't start with
I got things going for me. Insolence is my map. Let me tell you what. Add it to rotation. I'll put it to work, guys. We're gonna get back into this grand finals of the Halo Hub BTB Invitational presented by 7-Eleven Canada. Any moment, we're gonna go to a quick break. When we're back, Game 3 will be on its way.
Hey, what are they doing?
They're capturing the flag.
Come on, this is a warthog. Step on it, Gramps.
I can barely steer, and you want me to go faster?
Last I checked, capturing the flag requires them to be going the right way.
Clearly, they're playing it safe.
You know what? You've convinced me. I'll trust them.
I can't believe you trusted me to drive.
I don't trust anyone.
Hello? Who dis?
Hey, Nick, sorry to call while you're winning, but I think I forgot my nades in your car. If you could just drop those off, before scoring, that'd be great.
Win. What?
welcome back to our grand finals. Game 3 is here, and it's going to be Slayer on Insolence as our game 3. I'm Tools. Joined with me is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Tony. Y'all know him, y'all love him, as we love the teams that are competing in today's competition.
I'm not reckless nowadays. I feel like I need to change my gamer tag. Like back in the day, I was reckless. I just run in and challenge everything. Now I feel like I'm much more methodical with my gameplay. Like why not be camping now or something? Why not be running away from every gunfight?
Why not be cautious, bro? Why not? You know. See, sniper already in the early hands, and I love this position over by the down scarab. I think you just get a little bit more elevation here to take down some players and drift. I mean, we talked about him being an X factor, and so far I think he's gotten some great headshots to help forward his team on the map. Now, one thing we will see is if there are dynamic spawns on this map, because look at how far up Team Breaker is. Is Team Accelerate eventually going to spawn out, or can they withstand this pressure?
Early lead here for Team Breaker, but not much just yet. The sniper can definitely open up the entire map here. As you see Team Breaker sending multiple members over toward the left-hand side. I see Lure, Magico, and Nade, bro, working together. Carson Loot all the way on top of the map and just barely missing out on the long-range S7 shots to take him down, but a couple of shots in, he wants to reposition, doesn't want to stay in one position too long, otherwise making himself an easy target for Team Accelerate to not only kill him, but to steal that sniper for themselves.
Going down, this Warhawk doing a lot of damage, but Drift able to take down the driver, and the vehicle will be rendered useless in just a little bit of time. Drift having a great start to this game, but Team Accelerate still have this lead 20-15 at the moment, but anything can change at any moment in Slayer. Real, it's going to come down to one big moment where you see something pulled away, where you get like some sort of control that the other team doesn't have, and things can just spiral from there.
4-kill game, making a 5-kill game back in favor of Team Accelerate, and now we see that BR and sniper combo, but only one shot in the sniper rifle as he's chasing down the Ghost. And once again, we are seeing how strong these vehicles here on this map of Insolence, whether it's a Warthog, Ghost, or Banshee, if you're not able to control the vehicles, you are going to have a tough time, and Team Breaker finding that out the hard way.
I think this has been a great vehicle map. I think this is where we're starting to see the true charm of this map. You know, with no objective to dictate the pace of where you have to be, you're starting to see these vehicles really roam and tax, and they're starting to put in a lot of work on this. And what was just a 4 or 5 kill game has now spiraled into a 14 kill lead for Team Accelerate.
And normally it's Team Breaker, the ones that get on these crazy starts. Like back in the winners bracket round 2, it was Team Breaker that started off with a 23-4 run against Team Accelerate. Even the losers, I'm sorry, even in the winners bracket winners final, excuse me, it was a 22-8 run that Team Breaker starts with. Normally Team Breaker and the Slayers that start off in this dominant way, but this time it's Team Accelerate that are keeping that pressure on them. The question now becomes, can you hold on to this lead, which is easier said than done once those power weapons start to come into play, once those vehicles start to come back off the spawn, and Team Breaker have another chance to fight back.
Great shots, active, able to find this kill, and with a 20 kill lead like they have right now, you have to figure it's all about just making sure you don't overextend, you don't give them anything too much. And on the other side, Isify needs to make an impact, right? With this Banshee, you have to be able to kill the other Banshee that Carson's controlling at the moment, and use this Banshee for some strafing runs that'll really help your team push forward out of the base.
So far, Isify, good cover being used here for this Banshee, just waiting for the right time, and there it is. The first few shots going for Isify, avoids the big missile coming back in return, and now wants to get aggressive, wants to take out this Banshee from Team Accelerate while also keeping as much health as possible on his own, and that's why you see him continuously using the cover.
Trying to find his way. And it's unfortunate he hasn't really been able to push forward, because it's more important for him to stay alive necessarily than to go and get these big flashy kills, right? It's not necessarily important for him to get these kills right away. If he can stay alive with that Banshee while only having possession of it, that makes a difference maker. But boom, is going to be able to shut that down with some well-placed sniper shots, and suddenly Team Breaker, things are looking a little bit bleak for them. Now at what was 20, it keeps growing.
For the first time, we were seeing Team Breaker really start to struggle here on a Slayer. Like normally they're the dominant Slayers, and it's a 62-36 run now coming from Team Accelerate, and things are getting a little bit out of hand. Like if Team Breaker are gonna somehow try to claw their way back into it, they gotta get them those ghost control. They have to get those Warthog control. The Banshee is nice, but so far we haven't been seeing the Banshee have as much of an influence on the map that we have in previous times. Right now it seems to be all about the Ghost and the Warthog combo.
I think those Ghosts in particular are just so deadly throughout this game. And you're starting to see another spree of kills for Team Accelerate, and the captain's going to be able to get himself out of the battle for a little bit longer. With the help of Bohm and Druck, they've been able to push forward. Oh my god, look how much damage that thing did right away. That they really did give a nice little buff to the Ravager.
Team Accelerate about doubling the scoreline of Team Breaker, close to it, as Breaker does end up having the Rockets and Magico following it up with a big kill onto the kill feed as well. So Team Breaker trying to bounce right back. Team Accelerate, Team Breaker, Captain Breaker also in the gun of a Warthog. So maybe it's not out of reach just yet. More kills coming in. That was about maybe, what, 7 consecutive kills in a row before we saw eventually a double kill out of Carson Lutz with that Rockets, but is it enough? Because you still find yourself down by, you know, double-digit kills, and at this point, Team Accelerate are closing in fastly on that 80 kill mark, where it almost feels like no return at times.
Yeah, you're just running out of runway, right? You have to be able to take off. Right now, things start to condense. Opportunities start to go astray. Wow, just able to stay alive. Huge live from these couple players on Team Breaker, but the problem is their teammates keep going down, and it's the combination of that Ghost Warthog that just keeps causing so many issues for them.
13 more kills needed here for Team Accelerate. Bohm trying to stay alive with that Ghost, but the Stalker Rifle doing enough damage that should force Bohm to exit that vehicle very soon. 12 more kills. Almost at the 90 kill mark for Team Accelerate. Luckily, unluckily for Team Breaker, it looks like they're still with that Warthog, because I keep seeing turret kill after turret kill in the feed. A double kill out of Magico, though, with the Stalker could be huge. But we're less than a squad wipe away, and another Ghost in the hands of Team Accelerate. I have to say, I mean, I don't want to say it's over, but I'm pretty sure we're all thinking it.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any other chance for them to come back unless something miraculous happens, and for a little bit of style going up high with that sniper. Active trying to do something a little fancy at the end of this game. They are going to get to 70, so I think to me, that's like you don't get staked at 70, right? What is a steak dinner in big team battle? Like 49? Or is it 2/3? It's like 2/3, right?
Well, in regular Slayer, it's like, you know, it's what, 50 to 30. So at that point, I mean, just a little over half. So I would say, like, and yeah, I would say anything over 60 kills, I would say, is probably avoiding the stake. I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Again, like I said, I haven't played. I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't played much big team battle myself, so a lot of these questions I don't know. But let me tell you again, tonight I'm jumping in the playlist. You guys better watch out, because y'all better find out how amazing my Ghost really is.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a phenomenal series thus far, and well, it's gonna go one more game as well. Next up in our grand finals, I believe it's going to be attrition for our 4th game. So the first time that we're going to see attrition in today's tournament, Tony.
I ain't mad at that. See, I ain't gonna lie to you. I loved attrition.